Long before cities sprawled across continents, long before the written word carved human memory into stone and parchment, there was silence. A silence broken only by the rustle of leaves, the murmurs of rivers, and the distant call of animals echoing through untouched valleys. It was a world that belonged to the unknown, a canvas of raw, untamed nature. Humans, small and fragile against its vastness, were both witnesses and participants in a story that stretched beyond imagination. In that quiet, they began to observe, to wonder, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, to leave traces of themselves in the world. There is something profoundly humbling about imagining these earliest moments, the first sparks of curiosity in minds unburdened by knowledge, yet rich with perception. They looked to the sky at night, unknowing of galaxies, constellations, or planetary systems, yet their eyes and hearts were drawn upward with the same wonder we feel today. Each star, each shadow, each subtle movement of the moon was a mystery waiting to be felt, interpreted, and remembered. It is here, in these fleeting moments, that the first seeds of history were sown, quietly, without fanfare. The contrast between that ancient world and our own is striking. Today, we can chart every star, predict solar flares, and map the ocean floor in detail unimaginable to those early observers. Yet despite all this knowledge, there is a part of history that remains hidden, a world that cannot be fully reconstructed by modern science or technology. It lingers in fragments, buried tools, scattered bones, cave paintings that speak in symbols we can partially understand, stories passed down in whispers across generations. The interplay between what is known and what remains elusive is the thread we will follow throughout this journey. In these beginnings, humans were small architects of memory. They carved symbols into stone, left marks in the sand, and etched meaning into the cycles of nature around them. Every action, every ritual, no matter how simple, was a dialogue with the unknown. A rock formation became a marker of time, the flowing river a guide to sustenance, the fire a bridge between survival and imagination. Slowly, these small acts of observation, of interpretation, formed the foundation of civilization. Yet in the vast scale of time, these foundations were fragile, easily erased by floods, fires, or the quiet passage of centuries. And yet, even in their fragility, there is an elegance, a poetry of survival and understanding that resonates across millennia. The first humans were acutely aware of their impermanence. They saw the seasons come and go, the cycle of life and death, and the shifting landscapes that bore witness to their existence. There is a quiet tension in this awareness, the desire to understand the world, to leave a trace, and the knowledge that most of what they touched would vanish without a record. This tension between presence and absence, between memory and oblivion, is the heartbeat of our story. As we begin to peer into these ancient worlds, it is tempting to fill the gaps with imagination, to picture societies bustling with activity or dramatic events that left no trace. Yet the reality is often more subtle, more profound. There's a rhythm to early human life that we can sense even without seeing it fully. A rhythm of daily routines, quiet ingenuity, and tentative exploration. It is in the careful shaping of a tool, the precise stacking of stones, or the careful tending of a fire that we glimpse the extraordinary persistence of human curiosity. Even without towering monuments or written texts, these small gestures echo across time, whispering stories of ingenuity, resilience, and wonder. This opening chapter of history invites us to slow down, to listen, and to observe. The world we are about to explore is not just distant in time, but also fundamentally different in perception and understanding. Yet within it lies the origin of everything we now take for granted. The first sparks of knowledge, the first glimmers of imagination, and the first recognition that life, fleeting as it may be, can leave an imprint. By holding both the known and the unknown in our minds, by embracing the tension between clarity and mystery, we begin to step gently into a world that is at once foreign and intimately connected to us. As the shadows of ancient forests lengthen and the stars wheel overhead, we start to recognize that history is not merely a sequence of events or the accumulation of artifacts. It is a living, breathing presence that surrounds us, woven into the earth, the skies, and the very rhythms of life. And in these whispering beginnings, we find the first hints of the extraordinary worlds that await our discovery, worlds that challenge our imagination, invite reflection, and promise mysteries beyond anything we have yet conceived. Beneath the earth we walk on, beneath the familiar streets, fields, and forests, lie traces of civilizations that time has largely swallowed. They are worlds that existed long before modern maps were drawn, before written history documented kings and empires. The remnants of these societies often appear as fragments, scattered pottery shards, faint impressions of walls, crumbled statues. But even in these small remnants, a vast story whispers to those who listen closely. Each artifact, each buried structure, carries with it not only the memory of its maker, but also the weight of the countless lives that passed through its world. These are civilizations that once thrived, yet today remain largely unknown, leaving us to piece together their existence from echoes in stone and soil. The contrast between what we see today and what once existed is both humbling and intoxicating. A field that seems ordinary may have been the heart of a bustling settlement. A quiet riverbank may have witnessed trade, celebration, or ritual thousands of years ago. Archaeologists, in their careful work, have uncovered glimpses of these forgotten worlds. Yet each discovery raises more questions than it answers. How did these people live? What do they value? How do they conceive of their place in the world? It is the tension between what is known and the vast unknown that makes the study of forgotten civilizations so profoundly compelling, drawing us into a quiet meditation on time, mortality, and human ingenuity. Some of the earliest signs of civilization are subtle, almost imperceptible. Terraced fields carved into hillsides, irrigation channels hidden beneath layers of soil, and primitive dwellings arranged in patterns suggestive of intentional planning. These early societies understood their environment in ways that allowed them not only to survive, but to thrive. They tamed rivers, coaxed crops from the earth, and domesticated animals, creating the delicate balance between nature and culture that forms the foundation of all subsequent human development. Yet despite these achievements, much of their world has vanished, leaving only hints of the complexity that once existed. Buried beneath centuries of sediment are cities whose scale defies modern imagination. Some structures, now partially exposed through archaeological excavation, reveal advanced architectural techniques that challenge assumptions about ancient capabilities. Massive stone blocks fitted together with precision, subterranean chambers designed for climate control, and intricate road networks suggest societies far more sophisticated than we often give them credit for. These discoveries force us to reconsider our understanding of human history. Perhaps the earliest civilizations were not simple or primitive, but astonishingly complex, capable of creativity and problem-solving that rivaled our own. The mystery deepens when we consider that many of these civilizations left few written records, or if they did, those records have been lost, destroyed, or remain undeciphered. Oral traditions, storytelling, and symbolic markings hint at rich cultural lives, yet the full meaning often escapes us. We are left to reconstruct their stories through the objects they left behind and the landscapes they shaped. A broken pot can tell us about trade and domestic life. A carved stone may reveal spiritual beliefs. A buried road may hint at political organization and social structure. These fragments are the threads of a tapestry we can only partially see. Yet even in its incompleteness, the tapestry is breathtaking. Even as we uncover these ancient cities, there's an ever-present awareness of the fragility of human existence. Civilizations rise, flourish, and often fall, leaving behind little more than whispers of their brilliance. Environmental change, conflict, disease, and the relentless passage of time contribute to the disappearance of entire societies. And yet, in what survives, there is beauty, ingenuity, and an enduring testament to human resilience. By studying these remnants, we begin to sense a continuity of human endeavor that stretches back far further than most of us realize, a connection between the present and a distant past that is at once familiar and profoundly mysterious. Archaeological discoveries in remote regions often inspire wonder precisely because they reveal worlds that seem impossible. Vast urban centers buried beneath shifting sands, intricate carvings hidden in mountain caves, and underwater settlements preserved beneath the sea all hint at human activity that predates much of recorded history. Each revelation reminds us of the limits of our knowledge, and the possibility that our current understanding of civilization is only a shadow of what once was. There is a quiet thrill in imagining entire cultures, with rich social structures, art, music, and belief systems, existing without leaving a detailed mark on our collective memory. These forgotten civilizations challenge our assumptions, urging us to approach history not as a closed book, but as an ongoing exploration. And yet, while the physical traces of these societies are remarkable, it is their human dimension that captivates the imagination. Who are the people who built these cities, carved these stones, and tended these fields? What do their daily lives look like? What joys, fears, and aspirations guided their actions? Though time has muted their voices, archaeology and anthropology allow us glimpses into their worlds. From the careful alignment of buildings with the sun and stars to the symbolic art that decorates pottery and walls, we see a people striving to understand their place in the cosmos, much as we do today. The echoes of their lives resonate across time, bridging the gap between the ancient and the present. The act of uncovering these civilizations is itself a meditation on patience, discovery, and wonder. Each excavation requires meticulous care, each interpretation a cautious step between fact and conjecture. The contrast between the fleetingness of human life and the endurance of the Earth's layers creates a profound sense of perspective. As we dig deeper, literally and figuratively, we confront the realization that history is not linear, nor is it fully visible. It is layered, complex, and often hidden in plain sight. The stories of forgotten civilizations are whispers in the soil, waiting to be heard by those who pause to listen. Ultimately, the study of these lost worlds reminds us of the impermanence of human achievement and the boundless curiosity that defines our species. We are explorers not just of physical landscapes, but of memory itself, tracing the contours of civilizations that existed long before we could imagine. In every unearthed artifact, in every shadow of a buried structure, lies a reminder. The world we know is only a fraction of what has been, and beyond our knowledge lies an expanse of history that stretches into the unimaginable. To walk among the remnants of forgotten civilizations is to stand at the threshold of time itself. It is a quiet, humbling experience, a reminder that the human story is both fleeting and eternal, full of brilliance, mystery, and questions that may never be fully answered. These civilizations beneath our feet invite reflection on the fragility of life, the endurance of culture, and the inexhaustible power of curiosity. As we leave the earth and turn our gaze upward and outward, we carry with us the sense of wonder that these ancient worlds inspire, a wonder that will guide us into the landscapes and minds of history's oldest worlds. The world of our earliest ancestors was a place both familiar and profoundly alien, shaped by forces that modern humans often overlook. Rolling hills, dense forests, and rushing rivers were not mere scenery. They were the very scaffolding of life, determining where people settled, how they traveled, and how they imagined the cosmos. Mountains loomed as silent sentinels, their peaks shrouded in mist, holding secrets that would remain undiscovered for centuries. Valleys cradled communities, offering fertile land, water, and protection, yet also hiding mysteries within shadowed groves and winding riverbeds. In these landscapes, every stone and stream had meaning, and survival was entwined with an acute awareness of the natural world. There is a profound contrast in imagining these landscapes. The wild, untamed power of nature versus the delicate ingenuity of human adaptation. A river could sustain life, providing water for crops and animals, but it could also flood, erasing entire settlements in a single season. Forests offered shelter and resources, yet within them lurked dangers, predators, poisonous plants, and the unpredictable cycles of weather. Our ancestors learned to read these landscapes, interpreting the subtle signs of seasonal change, animal migration, and soil fertility. The relationship was intimate, almost conversational, a silent dialogue between humanity and the environment that shaped the rhythm of daily existence. These ancient lands were also far more dynamic than we often imagine. Coastlines shifted as glaciers advanced and receded, carving new bays and erasing others. Vast plains emerged from once submerged valleys, while deserts expanded and contracted over millennia. Human settlements adapted, migrated, and evolved alongside these changes, their fates intertwined with the Earth's restless pulse. Some cities were abandoned as rivers changed course. Others flourished where fertile soil and natural resources converged. The landscapes themselves became both a stage and a character in the unfolding story of civilization, guiding human ambition while hiding innumerable mysteries beneath the surface. Water, in particular, shaped these unimaginable worlds in ways both subtle and dramatic. Rivers were highways, providing routes for trade and communication across vast distances. Lakes and springs were sacred, often associated with spiritual beliefs and ceremonial practices. Water dictated survival, and societies that mastered its control, through canals, reservoirs, or irrigation, could transform deserts into breadbaskets and wetlands into thriving villages. Archaeological evidence of ancient waterworks astonishes modern observers. Underground channels, precisely leveled reservoirs, and sophisticated flood management systems suggest not only ingenuity, but a profound understanding of the environment. These achievements remind us that the landscapes themselves were inseparable from human history, that the shaping of land and the shaping of civilization were one continuous act. Yet nature's beauty was accompanied by its perils. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and shifting tectonic plates could reshape entire regions in moments. Storms and harsh winters tested human resilience, forcing adaptation and innovation. The contrast between the life-giving and destructive forces of nature created a tension that our ancestors knew intimately. Life in these landscapes was precarious, and yet it was also rich with sensory and spiritual experience. Sunsets reflected on rivers, winds whispered through tall grasses, and the night sky revealed patterns of stars that guided travelers and inspired myths. Every element of the environment carried significance. Every moment demanded attention and care. Beyond survival, these landscapes were also canvases for human imagination. Early people carved symbols into rock faces, built monuments aligned with the rising sun or the changing constellations, and modified the land in subtle ways that demonstrated their connection to both the physical and spiritual worlds. Hills, caves, and groves became sacred sites. Mountains were seen as homes to spirits or gods. Humans read meaning into their surroundings, and in turn, the landscapes became repositories of cultural memory, anchoring stories, rituals, and myths that survived long after the physical structures themselves had vanished. Submerged coastlines and hidden valleys further amplify the mystery of these ancient worlds. Rising seas, shifting rivers, and the slow creep of time have concealed entire civilizations beneath layers of sand, silt, and water. Modern technology, satellite imagery, sonar mapping, and aerial surveys has begun to reveal these lost landscapes, yet many remain elusive, waiting for patient eyes and careful hands to uncover them. Each discovery offers a glimpse into how geography shaped society, where trade flourished, where communities clustered, and how the natural world dictated patterns of human life. The landscapes, both seen and hidden, remind us that history is not static, but a living tapestry, woven with both human intent and the subtle hand of nature. The flora and fauna of these ancient worlds also shaped human experience in profound ways. Dense forests provided both food and danger. Large mammals could be both sustenance and threat. Plants offered medicine, dyes, and materials for shelter, clothing, and tools. Observing animals' behavior, tracking migrations, and interpreting seasonal patterns became vital knowledge passed down through generations. These early observers of the natural world were more than hunters or farmers. They were keen scientists, philosophers of survival, and stewards of ecosystems they understood intimately. In every tree, river, and mountain, there was a lesson to be learned, a story to be told. In imagining these landscapes, we are drawn to the interplay between permanence and impermanence. Mountains may endure for millennia, yet the communities that nestled against their slopes rise and fall in mere centuries. Rivers carve canyons over eons, yet a single flood can wipe away a generation's labor. Forests regrow, deserts shift, and coastlines disappear beneath waves. The ancient world was alive with movement, a continuous dialogue between human ingenuity and environmental forces. Understanding this relationship deepens our appreciation not only for survival in these landscapes, but also for the mysteries that endure long after civilizations vanish. Finally, these unimaginable landscapes invite reflection on human perception itself. Our ancestors inhabited a world where every sensory experience carried weight. The sound of wind through reeds could signify change. The smell of rain could foretell harvest. The shimmer of water could guide journeys. Their awareness of the environment was holistic, interwoven with culture, ritual, and daily life. As we explore these landscapes through the lens of history, we are reminded that the Earth is not just a backdrop for human action, but a living, breathing participant in the story of civilization. The terrain shaped them, inspired them, challenged them, and in turn, they left traces that continue to whisper across time. In stepping into the landscapes of the unimaginable, we begin to see history not as a collection of events, but as a network of relationships between humans, nature, and the unknown. Each hill, river, and valley becomes a character in a story of survival, creativity, and mystery. These are worlds that stretch the limits of our imagination, worlds where every step reveals new patterns, and every observation sparks deeper questions about the lives that unfolded there. By attuning ourselves to the rhythms of these ancient environments, we prepare to encounter not only the people who inhabited them, but the ideas, technologies, and mysteries that flowed from their interaction with the natural world. In a quiet expanse of ancient landscapes, knowledge began to take shape, not as textbooks or libraries, but in the attentive eyes and patient hands of our earliest ancestors. Survival demanded it, recognizing which plants were edible or poisonous, understanding the subtle rhythms of seasons, and tracking the movement of animals across plains and forests. Knowledge was not abstract. It was tactile, immediate, and intimately entwined with life itself. It arose from observation, experimentation, and reflection, a slow accumulation of insight that allowed humans to adapt to an ever-changing world. And yet, alongside this practical understanding, a deeper curiosity emerged, a desire to interpret the unseen forces that governed existence, bridging the boundary between survival and wonder. The earliest forms of knowledge were often encoded in objects, marks, and structures. Carved stones, etched bones, and painted caves were not mere decoration. They were records of experience, memory, and cultural practice. A mark in the dirt could indicate the movement of animals, while a sequence of stones might mark the progression of seasons or celestial events. These seemingly simple acts were the precursors to writing and mathematics, early attempts to give permanence to understanding. They reveal that human cognition, even in its earliest forms, was capable of abstract thought, pattern recognition, and symbolic representation, an extraordinary foundation for the civilizations that would follow. The tension between the known and the unknown is central to this emergence of knowledge. Early humans confronted vast mysteries: the behavior of the sun and moon, the cycles of fertility, the cause of disease, and the mysteries of life and death. Some questions were answered through trial and error, careful observation, and communal learning. Others remained elusive, becoming the seeds of myth, ritual, and spiritual exploration. In this way, knowledge and mystery were intertwined, each feeding the other, shaping societies that were both practical and imaginative. The unknown inspired inquiry, while the known offered reassurance and survival. Astronomy became one of the earliest arenas in which human knowledge blossomed. Long before telescopes or scientific instruments, people observed the heavens with meticulous attention, tracking the movement of stars, planets, and the phases of the moon. Monumental structures aligned with celestial events, sunrises, solstices, and equinoxes, demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of cycles that govern both agricultural and ceremonial life. These alignments were not arbitrary. They were a dialogue with the cosmos, a way of embedding human experience within the vast framework of the universe. In contemplating the heavens, our ancestors developed a sense of order, rhythm, and permanence in a world that was often unpredictable and chaotic. Mathematical thinking, too, began in humble but remarkable ways. Counting systems emerged from the need to track livestock, trade goods, or measure plots of land. Marks on bones or clay tablets reveal an early understanding of quantity, proportion, and sequence. Even without formal notation, humans recognized patterns and relationships, intuitively grasping principles that would later form the basis of geometry and arithmetic. These early insights were the foundation of technological progress. Tools became more precise, dwellings more durable, and societies more organized. Knowledge, in this sense, was both a survival mechanism and a creative force, shaping human experience across generations. Language played a pivotal role in the rise of knowledge. Spoken words allowed humans to share observations, teach skills, and preserve collective memory. Oral traditions, passed from one generation to the next, contain not only practical guidance, but also ethical, spiritual, and cultural teachings. Stories encoded knowledge about the environment, human behavior, and cosmology, blending fact with imaginative interpretation. In recounting these narratives, communities created a sense of continuity, linking past, present, and future in a tapestry of shared understanding. Language became both a tool and a bridge, a means to transmit knowledge and to explore the mysteries that lay beyond immediate perception. The rise of early knowledge also illuminates the profound human capacity for foresight and planning. Societies began to anticipate seasonal changes, manage resources, and organize collective labor in ways that were both strategic and sustainable. Granaries preserved surplus. Irrigation systems transformed arid land into fertile fields, and social hierarchies facilitated coordinated construction and trade. These achievements reveal a remarkable ability to envision future needs, to manipulate the environment thoughtfully, and to preserve the fruits of labor for generations yet to come. Knowledge was no longer solely individual. It became communal, cumulative, and enduring. Yet for all their insight, early humans still dwelled amidst profound mysteries. Natural disasters, illness, and the cycles of life and death remained enigmatic and often terrifying. The unknown inspired ritual, ceremony, and symbolic expression, offering both comfort and explanation. Knowledge, in its earliest forms, was inseparable from wonder. It was a pursuit of understanding in a world that was both beautiful and unpredictable. This duality, between the tangible and the intangible, between observation and imagination, defines the character of early human cognition and sets the stage for the civilizations that would emerge. The arts, closely entwined with knowledge, were another avenue through which early humans explored and recorded understanding. Cave paintings, carvings, and sculptures conveyed not only aesthetic beauty, but also practical and spiritual knowledge. Scenes of hunting, seasonal cycles, and celestial events reveal a keen observation of the world, while symbolic imagery reflects abstract thought, cultural values, and collective memory. In these expressions, knowledge and mystery converge. We glimpse a human mind reaching to comprehend and influence forces both seen and unseen, crafting meaning from the patterns of nature and life. Early technologies, though simple by modern standards, were sophisticated in their context. Stone tools were designed with precision for specific tasks, from cutting to grinding to scraping. Fire was harnessed for cooking, warmth, and protection, fundamentally transforming human life. Early humans experimented, adapted, and innovated, creating a feedback loop where observation led to technique, and technique led to deeper understanding. Knowledge was iterative, evolving across generations, each improvement building on the discoveries of those who came before. In this process, humans were not passive observers, but active participants in shaping their world. In contemplating the rise of early knowledge, it becomes clear that humans were guided by both necessity and curiosity. Survival demanded practical understanding, but the mind sought to go beyond immediate need, probing mysteries, imagining possibilities, and creating meaning. This dual impulse, practical and philosophical, formed the foundation of civilization itself. Every observation, invention, and story was a step toward mastering both the environment and the self, establishing a lineage of inquiry that stretches into our present and future. Ultimately, the rise of early knowledge is a testament to human resilience, imagination, and adaptability. It reveals a species capable of both precision and wonder, of careful observation and daring speculation. From simple tools to sophisticated astronomical alignments, from oral narratives to symbolic art, knowledge emerged as a guiding force, illuminating paths through the unknown while inspiring the enduring mysteries that continue to captivate us. In understanding how our ancestors perceived and interpreted their world, we gain insight not only into history, but into the enduring human quest for comprehension, connection, and meaning. As we leave this section and prepare to explore the innovations, cultures, and mysteries that arose from this foundation, we carry with us the awareness that knowledge is never static. It is a living thread stretching back into the shadows of prehistory and forward into the civilizations we recognize today. Each insight, each discovery, is both a reflection of human ingenuity and a reminder of the vast unknown that still surrounds us. In the rise of early knowledge, we encounter the first sparks of a journey that will carry us into worlds both astonishing and unimaginable. As human knowledge grew, so too did the ambition of communities, slowly giving rise to the first cities, settlements unlike any that had existed before. These early urban centers were more than collections of dwellings. They were hubs of trade, culture, and innovation. Streets, walls, and marketplaces were carefully arranged, reflecting both practical needs and social hierarchy. The emergence of cities marked a profound shift in human history. People were no longer scattered across the land in small, self-sufficient groups, but concentrated into spaces where collaboration, competition, and creativity converged. Here, human ingenuity met the challenge of scale, and society began to take on a more complex, interconnected form. Cities arose near rivers, fertile plains, and natural crossroads, where resources could sustain dense populations. Waterways were lifelines, providing drinking water, irrigation, and transportation. Yet, these same rivers could also bring destruction in the form of floods, forcing early urban planners to innovate with canals, levees, and drainage systems. The challenge of living closely together demanded new forms of organization and knowledge, systems for distributing food, maintaining sanitation, and regulating trade. Every decision in these urban landscapes reflected an understanding of both human behavior and environmental forces, a delicate balance between control and adaptation. The first cities were often fortified, their walls standing as silent witnesses to both achievement and vulnerability. These walls provided protection from neighboring groups and wild animals, but they also symbolized the tension between community and isolation, safety and confinement. Inside, streets wound in patterns that reflected both practical design and spiritual intention. Some layouts aligned with celestial events or cardinal directions, suggesting that early urban planning was as much about cosmic order as it was about daily life. The cities were living organisms, structured yet dynamic, thriving within an intricate web of natural and human influences. Trade was the lifeblood of these early cities, connecting distant regions and ideas. Markets bustled with the exchange of food, tools, textiles, and raw materials, but also of stories, beliefs, and cultural practices. Exotic goods carried the mark of faraway lands, creating a sense of wonder and curiosity among inhabitants. Through trade, knowledge flowed as freely as commodities, and cities became centers of innovation, communication, and cultural blending. The mingling of local traditions with distant influences produced societies that were both rooted and expansive, familiar yet filled with mystery. Religious and ceremonial spaces occupied a central place in these cities, reflecting a deep intertwining of the sacred and the everyday. Temples, shrines, and public gathering areas were not merely architectural feats. They embodied belief systems, cosmic understanding, and social hierarchy. Rituals, festivals, and offerings connected the city to the cycles of nature and the unknown forces perceived to govern life. In these practices, knowledge and mystery converged. Humans sought to influence events beyond their control, to communicate with powers unseen, and to impose order upon a world that remained in many ways enigmatic. The sacred spaces of the city were mirrors of both human ambition and human wonder. Yet, beneath the surface of urban life lay secrets that have puzzled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Hidden chambers, buried artifacts, and forgotten streets hint at rituals, trade practices, and social structures that are only partially understood. Some areas of these cities were deliberately concealed or destroyed, leaving behind traces that challenge our understanding. The contrast between the visible city and the hidden layers beneath it evokes a sense of mystery. Every excavation uncovers both revelation and new questions, reminding us that even the most seemingly familiar spaces can harbor enigmas. The construction techniques of these early cities also reveal remarkable ingenuity. Stone, mud brick, and timber were combined in ways that maximized durability and utility. Architectural innovations included multi-story buildings, sophisticated drainage systems, and fortifications designed to withstand both natural disasters and human threats. Every wall, column, and pathway was a testament to human problem-solving and collaborative effort. Yet many questions remain about the methods, labor organization, and knowledge systems that produced such enduring structures. The surviving evidence speaks to both practical mastery and the human desire to shape an environment that would endure beyond a single lifetime. Social hierarchy and governance played a critical role in the formation and maintenance of these cities. Leaders, priests, and skilled artisans organized labor, regulated resources, and mediated disputes. These structures of authority allowed cities to thrive, but they also introduced complexity, tension, and inequality. The contrast between rulers and laborers, sacred and profane, private and communal spaces illustrates the intricate social architecture that paralleled the physical structures. Understanding these dynamics is crucial to grasping how early cities functioned, thrived, and, in many cases, ultimately declined. Daily life within the first cities was rich and multifaceted. Children played in narrow streets. Artisans honed their crafts in workshops, and farmers tended gardens within or near city limits. Markets were alive with conversation, negotiation, and observation, creating a vibrant urban rhythm. Music, dance, and storytelling provided entertainment and cultural continuity, linking generations through shared expression. Even mundane activities were imbued with awareness of time, cycles, and environment, reflecting the deep integration of knowledge and lifestyle in these urban communities. The first cities were also centers of innovation and experimentation. Specialized crafts developed, from pottery and metallurgy to textile production and toolmaking. Knowledge was accumulated, refined, and transmitted, creating cultural continuity across generations. In these urban crucibles, humans began to manipulate natural materials and abstract concepts in ways that would define civilization for millennia. The city was both laboratory and stage, where ideas were tested, perfected, and displayed for communal participation. Every invention, adaptation, and discovery was both a practical response to need and a testament to imagination. The mysteries of these cities often lie in what remains unseen or only partially understood. Why were certain areas abandoned? What determined the placement of sacred versus residential spaces? What symbolic meanings underlay the decoration of walls, doors, and public squares? Archaeologists piece together evidence from fragments of pottery, inscriptions, and ruins, yet the full picture remains elusive. This interplay of revelation and mystery keeps the story of early urban life compelling, suggesting that even in the most ordered human constructions, the unknown persisted as an integral companion to the known. In imagining the first cities, we perceive a delicate tension, the effort to impose structure on human and natural forces and the persistent presence of unpredictability. The cities were achievements of coordination and foresight, yet they were vulnerable to disease, famine, invasion, and environmental change. The duality of resilience and fragility reflects a broader truth about human civilization. The pursuit of permanence exists alongside the inevitability of impermanence. These early urban centers teach us that history is not merely a record of what survives, but a dialogue between effort, environment, and the mysterious currents of time. Ultimately, the first cities were laboratories of human ingenuity, creativity, and social complexity. They illustrate the ways in which knowledge, culture, and ambition coalesced in spaces that were both practical and symbolic, visible and hidden. Through their streets, markets, and sacred precincts, we glimpse the interplay between order and chaos, the known and the unknown. Each ruin, artifact, and inscription whispers stories of ambition, daily life, and mystery, inviting us to imagine not only how people lived, but how they perceived and interpreted the forces that shaped their world. As we leave the first cities behind and prepare to explore the tools, technologies, and innovations that arose from these foundations, we carry with us a sense of wonder. Cities were not merely physical spaces. They were living ecosystems of knowledge, culture, and mystery, shaping human experience while preserving secrets that continue to challenge and inspire us. By walking through these ancient streets in imagination, we prepare to uncover the next chapters in the story of civilization, where ingenuity meets enigma and human ambition stretches toward the unimaginable. In the quiet expanse of human history, tools stand as silent witnesses to our ancestors' ingenuity. From simple flint blades to intricately crafted bronze implements, tools were far more than instruments. They were extensions of human thought, creativity, and adaptability. Each tool represents a solution to a problem, a response to the challenges of survival, and a bridge between imagination and reality. Through the mastery of materials and techniques, early humans began to shape the world around them, exerting influence over landscapes, resources, and even the pace of their own lives. In this delicate interplay between need and invention, ingenuity became a defining feature of civilization. The earliest tools were deceptively simple, yet profoundly transformative. Stones shaped with intention, knapped flints, sharpened obsidian, and carefully selected pebbles allowed humans to cut, scrape, and carve with precision previously impossible. These tools facilitated the preparation of food, the crafting of clothing, and the construction of shelters. They were also instruments of exploration, allowing humans to expand into new environments with confidence. Even in their raw simplicity, these implements reveal cognitive sophistication, the ability to plan, anticipate consequences, and refine techniques over time. The earliest tools were not merely functional. They were the first tangible evidence of human thought made manifest in the material world. As humans experimented with materials, they discovered that certain substances offered greater durability, flexibility, or utility. Wood, bone, and antler complemented stone, each chosen for its specific properties. Later, the discovery of metals like copper and tin ushered in an era of bronze, enabling stronger tools, weapons, and ceremonial objects. This shift from stone to metal required not only physical skill, but also conceptual understanding. Knowledge of smelting, alloying, and shaping materials was passed through apprenticeship, observation, and communal learning. Metallurgy was a silent revolution, expanding the scope of what humans could create and how they could interact with their environment. The development of tools also reflects an intricate balance between the known and the unknown. Early humans learned through trial and error, observing the consequences of each modification or use. Yet, alongside practical knowledge, there was experimentation driven by curiosity, a desire to see what might be possible. The result was a growing repertoire of innovations, from the spear and the sickle to the plow and the loom. Each invention was a dialogue with nature, a way to manipulate the environment, understand materials, and extend human capability. In this sense, tools were both practical aids and vessels of imagination, embodying a silent conversation between human intent and the mysteries of matter. The ingenuity of early humans is particularly evident in their ability to adapt tools to multiple purposes. A single stone implement could be a knife, scraper, or a projectile, depending on the need. Later, specialized tools emerged, designed for particular crafts or rituals. Pottery allowed for storage, cooking, and transport of water and food. Weaving enabled clothing and shelter, and complex hunting implements improved efficiency and safety. This evolution of specialization illustrates not only technical skill but also the cognitive leap of abstract thinking. The understanding that objects could be designed, refined, and improved to serve specific functions. Every tool was a tangible expression of insight, creativity, and foresight. Fire, though not always classified as a tool in the conventional sense, profoundly amplified human ingenuity. It transformed raw ingredients into digestible nourishment, hardened wooden implements, and provided warmth and protection. Mastery of fire required experimentation, observation, and knowledge of timing and conditions, as well as an appreciation of its power and danger. Fire enabled communities to inhabit colder regions, extend activity into the night, and create social spaces for storytelling, planning, and cultural exchange. In this way, fire was both a literal and symbolic tool, an instrument of survival, creativity, and shared human experience. Innovation extended beyond physical tools to include techniques and processes. Early humans developed methods for grinding grain, tanning hides, and shaping clay, each requiring a blend of observation, dexterity, and ingenuity. These processes were often passed down through oral instruction or apprenticeship, creating a cumulative body of knowledge that could be refined and adapted across generations. The iterative nature of this learning reflects a profound human capacity for problem solving, the ability to recognize patterns, predict outcomes, and adjust strategies accordingly. Techniques became as vital as objects themselves, demonstrating that ingenuity encompasses both thought and action. Trade and interaction among early communities further fueled innovation. Tools, ideas, and materials flowed along networks that connected distant settlements. Exotic stones, metals, and crafted items introduced new possibilities, sparking experimentation and cross-cultural learning. Knowledge was no longer confined to individual groups. It became shared, cumulative, and expansive. The interplay between local resources and imported materials fostered creativity, as humans adapted foreign concepts to their environment and needs. In this sense, ingenuity was both personal and collective, evolving through cooperation, observation, and exchange. Symbolism also played a role in the development of tools. Some implements, while functional, carried ceremonial or spiritual significance. Obsidian blades, intricately carved bone tools, or bronze ornaments were sometimes used in rituals, marking status, or connecting humans to the unseen forces they sought to understand. These dual purposes reflect a central tension in human innovation, the blending of utility and meaning, practicality and mysticism. Tools were not merely instruments of survival. They were embodiments of culture, philosophy, and imagination. The ingenuity of early humans also reveals an understanding of sustainability and adaptation. Tools were crafted to endure, reused, repaired, and modified as circumstances changed. Materials were selected with care, techniques honed for efficiency, and designs optimized for maximum effect with minimal waste. This early awareness of resource management highlights the sophisticated thinking that underpinned human survival. Knowledge was not only about immediate problem solving, but also about planning for the future, a principle that resonates in modern engineering and environmental awareness. The evolution of tools reflects a dialogue between human intent and the mysteries of nature. Each innovation begins with observation, noticing a sharp edge in stone, the flammability of wood, or the malleability of metal. Experimentation follows, guided by trial, error, and ingenuity. Successes are repeated, failures refined, and knowledge gradually accumulates. The process is iterative and cumulative, building layers of insight that extend far beyond any single generation. In this way, tools are both products and catalysts of human thought, shaping the trajectory of civilization itself. As humans hone their mastery over tools, they also deepened their understanding of the environments in which they lived. Hunting strategies, agricultural techniques, and architectural solutions all depended on careful observation and applied knowledge. Tools allowed humans to interact with the world in increasingly sophisticated ways, revealing patterns, testing hypotheses, and expanding the limits of possibility. In essence, ingenuity transformed humans from passive participants in their environment into active agents capable of shaping landscapes, communities, and destinies. Ultimately, tools and ingenuity illuminate the essence of human creativity, the ability to transform observation into action, to convert necessity into invention, and to blend practicality with imagination. They reveal a species capable of foresight, problem-solving, and abstract thought long before the written record existed. Each tool, each technique, is a testament to human curiosity, resilience, and the drive to understand and influence the world. They are markers of both knowledge and mystery, tangible evidence of the human journey from survival to civilization, from instinct to imagination. As we move from the tangible mastery of tools to the structures and societies they enabled, we carry forward the recognition that every invention is both a solution and a question. Tools are not merely historical artifacts. They are milestones in a continuing exploration of the world and ourselves. They bridge the gap between what is known and what remains to be discovered, between practical necessity and the boundless realm of possibility. In the ingenuity of our ancestors, we glimpse both the origins of civilization and the enduring spark of human curiosity that still drives us today. Long before written records documented their stories, ancient cultures left traces of lives, beliefs, and mysteries carved into the earth, stone, and memory of the world. These cultures existed in spaces where survival required adaptation, creativity, and the courage to explore the unknown. Their daily lives, rituals, and innovations were deeply intertwined with the natural environment, celestial patterns, and the unseen forces they sensed governed life. In studying these civilizations, we uncover not only practical achievements, but also the silent whispers of philosophies, spiritualities, and mysteries that continue to intrigue us today. There is a quiet, almost poetic resonance in knowing that every artifact, every ruin, is both a statement and a question, a testament to human presence and a challenge to our understanding. Ancient cultures were remarkably diverse in their approaches to living, thinking, and interacting with the world. Some were nomadic, following seasonal patterns of plants and animals, while others became settled, forming villages and eventually sprawling cities. Despite these differences, a common thread unites them: a deep engagement with the mysteries of existence. Early humans observed the cycles of the sun and moon, the patterns of stars, and the changing seasons, seeking meaning in these movements. These observations informed agriculture, navigation, and ceremonial life, but also created a bridge between the known rhythms of nature and the unknown forces that seemed to guide them. Knowledge and mystery coexisted in a delicate balance, shaping the worldview of every community. Rituals and spiritual practices reveal the intricate ways in which ancient peoples sought to connect with forces beyond the visible world. Sacred sites, temples, shrines, stone circles, and burial mounds were designed not only for practical purposes, but as gateways to the divine or cosmic. Offerings, chants, dances, and astronomical alignments created interactions with these unseen dimensions. In many cases, the design and placement of these sites reveal a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, geography, and human psychology, showing that ritual was simultaneously an art, a science, and a form of communication. Through these practices, humans acknowledged the mysteries of existence while attempting to exert influence or gain insight. The art and symbolism of ancient cultures serve as another window into their secrets. Cave paintings, carvings, pottery decorations, and textile patterns often carried layers of meaning, encoding knowledge, belief, and history. Animals, celestial symbols, and abstract motifs could represent practical information, spiritual ideas, or stories of ancestral origin. While the exact significance of many symbols remains unknown, their presence tells us that these societies valued expression, memory, and connection with forces beyond themselves. Art became both a record and a guide, a way of navigating reality while hinting at truths that cannot be fully spoken. Burial practices offer some of the most intriguing insights into ancient societies. Tombs, grave goods, and monumental structures suggest that people contemplated life, death, and the beyond with remarkable sophistication. The care invested in preparing the deceased reflects beliefs about the afterlife, spiritual protection, and social status. Some burials include objects designed to assist the journey after death, indicating an awareness of the unseen and a desire to provide continuity across the threshold of mortality. At the same time, the variations and mysteries of these practices remind us that many aspects of their worldview remain beyond our grasp, leaving space for speculation and wonder. Knowledge in these cultures was often preserved through oral tradition, apprenticeship, and communal practice rather than written records. Stories, myths, and songs carried history, moral guidance, and cosmological understanding across generations. Skilled artisans, healers, and priests acted as custodians of knowledge, interpreting patterns in nature and society while guiding communities through practical and spiritual challenges. This interweaving of memory, observation, and ritual created resilient, adaptive societies capable of thriving in diverse environments. It also meant that knowledge and mystery were inseparable. To understand life was simultaneously to confront questions without definitive answers. Many ancient cultures demonstrate an extraordinary understanding of mathematics, engineering, and astronomy. Monumental architecture, calendars, and water management systems reflect careful observation and sophisticated calculation. Stone structures often align with solstices, equinoxes, or lunar cycles, indicating that celestial patterns were not merely observed, but deeply integrated into cultural and spiritual life. Engineering feats, such as aqueducts, terraces, and fortifications, reveal a command of materials and labor organization that rivals modern ingenuity. These achievements highlight the human capacity to blend empirical knowledge with symbolic meaning, grounding daily life in both practicality and cosmic awareness. Trade and cultural exchange also shaped the secrets of ancient civilizations. Networks of merchants, travelers, and explorers carried goods, ideas, and technologies across vast distances, connecting distant communities in unexpected ways. Exotic materials, innovative techniques, and foreign customs entered local contexts, stimulating creativity and adaptation. Through these exchanges, cultures both preserved identity and embraced transformation, showing that the ancient world was not isolated but dynamic and interconnected. In the artifacts and ruins left behind, we see evidence of this movement and dialogue, traces of lives that intersected in ways both visible and subtle. Yet, for all we can reconstruct, ancient cultures deliberately concealed aspects of their knowledge and practice. Hidden chambers, encoded symbols, and secret rituals suggest that some understanding was restricted to select individuals or groups. These mysteries might have protected sacred knowledge, maintained social order, or preserved power. The presence of these enigmas reminds us that history is never complete. What is visible is only part of a larger narrative, and each discovery often raises new questions. The contrast between revealed knowledge and hidden secrets is central to the fascination these cultures hold for us today. The resilience of ancient cultures is equally remarkable. Despite environmental challenges, conflict, and societal changes, they developed adaptive strategies that allowed communities to survive for centuries. Agricultural techniques, water conservation, and communal organization ensured stability, while artistic and spiritual expression provided cohesion and meaning. Yet, the fragility of these civilizations is evident in the ruins that remain, the gaps in the record, and the abrupt collapses that sometimes occurred. This tension between endurance and vulnerability underscores the complexity of human societies and the intricate dance between control and uncertainty. In contemplating the secrets of ancient cultures, we confront both their ingenuity and the mysteries they left behind. Every artifact, ruin, and symbol invites interpretation, blending factual understanding with speculation. Archaeology, anthropology, and historical research provide insight, yet the gaps in knowledge are as compelling as the discoveries themselves. It is in these gaps, the unanswered questions, the enigmatic objects, the unexplained practices, that the imagination finds its space and the sense of wonder persists. Ancient cultures speak to us not only through what they accomplished, but also through what they deliberately or unknowingly concealed. The study of ancient cultures also reminds us of the universality of human curiosity. Across continents and eras, people sought to understand their world, preserve memory, and connect with forces beyond themselves. Despite differences in geography, language, and resources, the patterns of ritual, creativity, and ingenuity repeat, suggesting a shared human impulse to explore, interpret, and create. In this shared quest, history and mystery converge. We can trace the lineage of our curiosity while acknowledging that much remains beyond comprehension. Ultimately, the secrets of ancient cultures invite both reflection and imagination. They teach us that knowledge is always intertwined with mystery, that survival depends on observation, innovation, and adaptation, and that human expression reaches far beyond what can be easily measured or explained. By studying their tools, rituals, art, and architecture, we glimpse the rhythms of daily life, the depth of spiritual inquiry, and the enduring fascination with the unknown. Each discovery connects us to the distant past while reminding us that the full story is never entirely revealed, leaving space for contemplation and wonder. As we move from the hidden worlds of ancient cultures to the monumental achievements of early civilizations, we carry forward a sense of awe. The echoes of these societies, through architecture, art, and artifacts, invite us to reflect on the continuity of human curiosity and creativity. In embracing both what is known and what remains mysterious, we prepare to explore the rise of civilizations that not only shaped the physical world, but also left indelible marks on human consciousness, bridging history, ingenuity, and enduring enigma. Across ancient cultures, the stories of catastrophic events that altered the course of history are told and retold. like echoes that reverberate through time. These stories, often passed down through generations in the form of myths and legends, describe great floods, fiery rains, and disasters of cosmic scale. While most of these tales are considered by historians to be symbolic or allegorical, what if they were not simply stories? What if they were based on real events that occurred long before recorded history? One of the most pervasive themes in ancient mythologies is the tale of a great flood. The Epic of Gilgamesh, a cornerstone of Sumerian literature, tells of a godly flood sent to cleanse the earth, wiping out all life save for a select few. The Bible, too, recounts the story of Noah's Ark, where a global flood is sent by God to purge humanity of its wickedness. And in the ancient scriptures of Hindu tradition, the tale of Manu and the Great Flood tells of a time when the earth was submerged underwater, and the sole survivor was tasked with preserving life. These flood myths are found across cultures, from the native tribes of the Americas to the Aboriginal peoples of Australia. Despite the differences in the telling of these stories, they share a common thread: a cataclysmic event that caused destruction on a global scale. For centuries, historians have dismissed these accounts as mere mythology. But in recent years, some researchers have started to explore whether they might be based on real, global events. Events that occurred thousands of years ago and were later woven into the fabric of human storytelling. One theory that has emerged is that these floods were not just symbolic or exaggerated tales, but may have been based on ancient memories of real catastrophic events. Geologists and climatologists have speculated that massive floods, caused by rapid climate change, glacial melts, or sudden shifts in sea levels, could have swept across the Earth in the distant past. Such events would have left behind scars in the landscape, traces that we may still be able to find today. The Younger Dryas, a sudden and intense cooling period that occurred around 12,800 years ago, is one such event that may have triggered these global flood stories. This period, which lasted for over 1,000 years, saw dramatic changes in the Earth's climate, with temperatures plummeting and ice sheets rapidly advancing and retreating. Some scientists believe that the melting of massive ice sheets during this time could have led to huge floods as water from the glaciers poured into the oceans, raising sea levels and causing widespread flooding in coastal regions. This could explain the recurring flood myths across cultures, memories of an event that drastically altered the planet. But what about other types of cosmic disasters, such as meteors, comets, or cosmic rays? Could these forces have also shaped the ancient world in ways that we are only beginning to understand? One of the most intriguing aspects of ancient mythology is its connection to celestial events. The ancient Greeks, Egyptians, and Mayans, among others, closely observed the heavens, and many of their myths center around gods, comets, and stars. But it's not just the ancients who have looked to the sky in awe and fear. Modern scientists are increasingly looking to the heavens as well. The impact of large asteroids or comets on Earth is a phenomenon that we are now aware of, but it was not until recent decades that we truly understood the frequency and severity of such events. The impact of the Chicxulub asteroid, which is believed to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, is one such event that serves as a reminder of the destructive power of cosmic forces. But what if there were similar impacts in ancient history? Events that were witnessed by early humans and passed down as terrifying tales of gods descending from the heavens, fiery rains, or serpentine creatures from the stars. Some researchers have proposed that the destruction of the city of Sodom, as described in the Bible, may have been the result of an asteroid or comet impact that created a massive fireball and led to the annihilation of the city. Similarly, the sudden collapse of the Bronze Age civilizations around 1200 BCE is often attributed to a combination of climate change, invasions, and natural disasters. However, there is evidence that a series of cosmic impacts may have also played a role in this widespread collapse. Impact craters, like the ones found in the Mediterranean region, suggest that the ancient world may have been subjected to the kind of cataclysmic cosmic events that are more common than we once believed. Another possible source of cosmic disasters could be the effects of solar activity, such as solar flares or coronal mass ejections, CMEs. These violent outbursts of energy from the sun could have wreaked havoc on ancient civilizations, causing mass electrical failures or even altering the climate itself. While the technology to detect such events was not available to ancient peoples, their stories of darkened skies and fiery storms could have been their way of explaining the effects of such solar events. The possibility that the sun itself could have been perceived as a malevolent force, capable of destroying entire civilizations, adds another layer of mystery to our understanding of ancient disasters. Whether caused by rising seas, cosmic impacts, or celestial storms, these events would have left deep psychological scars on the survivors. Over generations, these cataclysmic events could have become ingrained in the collective memory of humanity, passed down as myths that warned future generations of the fragility of civilization and the unpredictability of nature. What makes these ancient stories so compelling is the shared human experience of disaster. Across cultures and continents, the stories tell of humanity's resilience, our ability to survive against all odds. But they also serve as a sobering reminder of how fragile our world really is. The stories of ancient floods, meteors, and cosmic events may seem distant and fantastical, but as our understanding of the past deepens, we are increasingly finding that the ancient world may have been much closer to us, both in time and in the potential dangers that lie beyond our understanding. When we look up at the night sky, the stars seem distant and untouchable, scattered across the vast expanse of the universe. Yet, for the ancient civilizations, the stars were far more than distant lights. They were guides, teachers, and gods. These ancient astronomers observed the night sky with an almost otherworldly precision, tracking the movements of the stars, planets, and celestial events with an accuracy that challenges our understanding of their capabilities. But did they know something we don't? Were their observations of the heavens more advanced than we can fathom today? Many of the great ancient cultures, including the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Babylonians, and the Greeks, devoted considerable time and resources to studying the stars. They built massive structures aligned with celestial bodies and developed complex systems to predict the movements of the stars and planets. What is truly remarkable, however, is the extent to which their astronomical knowledge often seemed far ahead of its time. In some cases, their ability to predict astronomical events like eclipses or the heliacal rising of stars was as accurate, if not more so, than the technology we have today. One of the most famous examples of ancient astronomical precision is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Its alignment with the stars, particularly the constellation of Orion, suggests that the Egyptians had an advanced understanding of celestial navigation. The pyramid's alignment is so precise that modern astronomers can barely match it using current technology. The question arises, how did the Egyptians achieve such precision without telescopes or advanced instruments? Some researchers suggest that their knowledge might have come from a much earlier, forgotten civilization, or perhaps they possessed a secret understanding of astronomy passed down through generations. The mystery surrounding the pyramids deepens when considering that the Egyptians believed the constellation Orion represented the god Osiris, the ruler of the afterlife. This suggests that their study of the stars was not merely for practical purposes, but also for spiritual and religious reasons, intertwining the celestial with the divine. Similar feats of astronomical wonder are found in other ancient cultures as well. The Mayans, for example, developed a highly sophisticated calendar system based on their observations of the heavens. They tracked the movements of Venus with incredible accuracy, using its cycles to time important rituals and ceremonies. The Mayan long count calendar, which is often associated with predictions of apocalyptic events, was actually based on precise astronomical measurements. Their understanding of time was rooted in a deep knowledge of the stars, and they used this knowledge to organize their society in a way that aligned with cosmic rhythms. The Babylonians, too, were masters of the heavens. The Babylonian Empire produced some of the earliest known star charts, which mapped the positions of constellations with remarkable detail. They were among the first to divide the sky into 12 segments, which later influenced the zodiac system still used today. Their ability to predict celestial events, such as eclipses, was so precise that it influenced both their religious practices and their political decisions. The fact that the Babylonians were able to predict lunar eclipses hundreds of years in advance raises the question: did they possess knowledge passed down from a much earlier, even more advanced civilization? This fascination with the stars was not limited to the well-known cultures of Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Mesoamerica. The ancient Chinese also had a profound understanding of astronomy. Chinese astronomers recorded solar and lunar eclipses, comets, and supernovae for over 2 millennia, creating one of the longest and most continuous astronomical records in history. The Chinese even developed an early form of seismology, using their observations of the stars to predict earthquakes. The precision of their celestial observations is astonishing, considering that they had no telescopes or advanced instruments to aid them. What is perhaps most intriguing is that the Chinese believed that celestial events had direct correlations with earthly events, including the rise and fall of dynasties, the fate of rulers, and the stability of the empire. It's not just the alignment of monuments or the development of calendars that points to ancient civilizations having an extraordinary understanding of the stars. Many of these cultures, particularly the Egyptians, also built temples and sacred sites that were aligned with specific stars or celestial phenomena. The Temple of Ammonius at Karnak, for example, was aligned with the rising of the star Sirius, which marked the beginning of the annual flooding of the Nile River, a vital event in Egyptian agriculture. The Greeks, too, were obsessed with the heavens. Figures like Pythagoras and Plato wrote extensively about the role of the stars in influencing life on Earth. In fact, Plato's writings suggest that ancient astronomers had an understanding of the movements of the planets and stars that could rival our own. The mystery lies in how such precise knowledge was gained. Did these ancient astronomers use simple observation and trial and error to unlock the secrets of the universe? Or did they have access to hidden knowledge passed down through generations? Some researchers suggest that ancient astronomers may have been in contact with even older civilizations whose astronomical knowledge was far more advanced. These lost civilizations, if they existed, could have been the true source of the astronomical knowledge that the ancient cultures later inherited and refined. There's also the tantalizing possibility that these civilizations were not just observing the heavens, but also receiving knowledge from otherworldly sources. Theories of ancient astronauts or extraterrestrial contact suggest that beings from other planets may have shared their advanced understanding of the stars with ancient humans. While this idea is controversial and remains largely speculative, it is a thought-provoking possibility, especially when considering the astonishing precision of ancient astronomical alignments and the seeming leaps in understanding that appear throughout history. As we look at the advances in modern astronomy, it is striking how much we owe to the ancient astronomers. While we have made great strides in technology, many of the concepts we use today, such as the understanding of the precession of the equinoxes or the calculation of planetary movements, were first discovered by these ancient cultures. Their ability to observe and record the movements of the stars without the aid of telescopes, computers, or other modern tools is a testament to their skill and dedication. In many ways, we are only now rediscovering the knowledge they left behind. Yet, despite the advancements of our modern scientific age, there are still many mysteries in the sky that remain unsolved. Some of the ancient techniques for tracking celestial bodies are still more accurate than those we use today. In fact, some modern astronomers have started to question whether the ancient methods of tracking the stars might hold clues to phenomena that modern science has yet to uncover. The idea that ancient civilizations may have known the stars better than we do today invites us to reconsider our assumptions about their capabilities. These ancient astronomers were not just passive observers of the sky. They were active participants in an ongoing cosmic dance. Their understanding of the heavens was deeply intertwined with their cultures, their religions, and their lives. The stars were not just objects to study. They were sources of meaning, guiding them through their lives, shaping their destinies, and even determining the fate of their civilizations. As we explore the mysteries of the stars and the knowledge of the ancients, we are reminded that the past is not as distant as it seems. The stars, which still shine down on us from above, continue to hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps the knowledge these ancient astronomers left behind will guide us, just as the stars guided them, as we continue to reach for the heavens. There is something deeply alluring about the idea of a lost world. An ancient city, once vibrant and bustling, now buried beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered. Throughout history, countless cities have vanished without a trace, their stories relegated to legend, myth, or forgotten memory. Yet, time and time again, archaeology has proven that these forgotten places are not just figments of imagination. They are real, and some of them are still waiting to be rediscovered. The discovery of lost cities is one of the most compelling aspects of archaeological exploration. These cities, often buried for centuries or millennia, offer tantalizing glimpses into ancient civilizations that existed long before our modern world took shape. They challenge our understanding of history and force us to reconsider how advanced these ancient cultures truly were. The very act of uncovering a lost city is like peeling back the layers of time, revealing forgotten knowledge, art, and architecture that once held significance to a society that has long since faded into obscurity. One of the most famous examples of a lost city is the discovery of Machu Picchu in 1911. Hidden high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, Machu Picchu remained unknown to the outside world for centuries, hidden by dense jungle and inaccessible terrain. To the Inca, it was a sacred city, a place of worship, culture, and knowledge. When American explorer Hiram Bingham stumbled upon it, the world was shocked to find that such an advanced civilization had been hidden from history for so long. Machu Picchu's precision-cut stonework, sophisticated agricultural terraces, and astronomical alignments suggest that the Inca had mastered engineering, agriculture, and astronomy in ways that were only rediscovered much later. But Machu Picchu is far from unique. All around the world, similar stories of hidden cities and lost civilizations have emerged. In Cambodia, the ancient city of Angkor Wat, once the heart of the Khmer Empire, lay buried beneath the jungle for centuries, overtaken by roots and vines. The city, with its elaborate temples, intricate carvings, and remarkable urban planning, had once been one of the largest and most sophisticated cities in the world. Its rediscovery in the 19th century shocked historians, revealing a civilization with an advanced understanding of hydraulics, astronomy, and architecture. Today, Angkor Wat remains a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but many other parts of the ancient city are still being uncovered as archaeologists and historians continue to piece together its history. Another captivating example of a lost city is the discovery of the so-called Lost City of the Monkey God in Honduras. For centuries, explorers had heard rumors of a legendary city deep within the Mesquite rainforest. These tales, passed down through generations of indigenous peoples, spoke of a city filled with treasures, strange artifacts, and forgotten knowledge. Despite numerous attempts by explorers, the city remained elusive, hidden by dense jungle and impenetrable terrain. It wasn't until 2015, when a team of archaeologists and explorers, using LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology, finally uncovered the ruins of this mysterious city. What they found was astonishing. An intricate urban complex, complete with pyramids, plazas, and ceremonial structures, all hidden for centuries from the outside world. The discovery of the lost city of the Monkey God was a reminder that there are still places on Earth that remain shrouded in mystery, waiting to reveal their secrets. The use of technology, such as LiDAR and satellite imagery, has revolutionized the search for hidden cities. By using laser scanning from the air, researchers can detect structures hidden beneath dense vegetation, which would be impossible to see from the ground. This technology has led to the discovery of several previously unknown sites in the jungles of Central America, including large urban complexes in the Yucatan Peninsula that were once part of the ancient Maya civilization. These findings are opening up new possibilities for understanding the scale and complexity of ancient civilizations that were once thought to be isolated and primitive. Far from being isolated, many of these ancient societies were interconnected, with trade routes, cultural exchanges, and shared knowledge that spanned vast distances. In the deserts of the Middle East, the search for lost cities has taken on a different form. The ancient city of Petra, located in modern-day Jordan, was once a thriving trade hub, known for its breathtaking rock-cut architecture and water management systems. Petra was lost to the outside world for centuries, and when it was rediscovered in 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, it astonished archaeologists with its sheer scale and beauty. Petra, however, was not the only city of its kind. Ancient trade routes connected distant cities across the Arabian Peninsula, many of which remain hidden beneath the desert sands, waiting for the right tools and the right explorers to bring them back into the light of history. One of the most intriguing aspects of these hidden cities is the question of why they were abandoned in the first place. The reasons for the decline and disappearance of these cities vary greatly. Environmental collapse, war, shifts in trade routes, or even religious or cultural upheavals. The case of the Maya, for example, is often cited as a classic example of the collapse of a civilization due to environmental factors. The once great cities of the Maya, such as Tikal and Copan, were abandoned in the 9th century AD, possibly as a result of severe droughts that disrupted their agricultural systems and led to social unrest. Similarly, the mysterious decline of the Indus Valley civilization, one of the earliest urban societies in human history, remains an enduring mystery. What caused this advanced civilization, with its well-planned cities and sophisticated drainage systems, to vanish without a trace? The fact that these cities were abandoned, only to be rediscovered centuries or even millennia later, raises questions about the cyclical nature of human history. Could it be that we are witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations in a repeating pattern, where knowledge and culture reach their zenith, only to fade away into the shadows of time, leaving behind remnants of a forgotten world? Are we, in some ways, standing at the precipice of our own lost city, perhaps leaving behind the ruins of our own civilization to be uncovered by future explorers thousands of years from now? Another layer of intrigue comes from the idea that many of these lost cities were not simply abandoned, but were intentionally hidden. The idea of secret, hidden places is a recurring theme in mythology, from the lost city of Atlantis to the hidden city of El Dorado. Some theorists suggest that ancient civilizations, faced with collapse or conquest, deliberately concealed their cities to protect them from invaders, preserving their knowledge and treasures for future generations. This concept adds an almost mystical dimension to the idea of lost worlds, as if these cities were meant to remain hidden, preserved in time until the world was ready to uncover their secrets. The search for these lost cities and the people who once lived in them is not just a quest for knowledge. It is a quest for understanding who we are and where we come from. Each discovery adds a piece to the puzzle of human history, revealing the complexity of past civilizations and their achievements. But it also raises new questions about what we have lost, what we have forgotten, and what might still be hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be found. As technology advances and we continue to explore the depths of the earth and the mysteries of our past, the search for lost cities will no doubt continue. Who knows what forgotten wonders lie beneath the sands of Egypt, the jungles of South America, or the deserts of the Middle East? Perhaps in a not-too-distant future, we will uncover new lost cities, bringing us closer to understanding the full scope of humanity's ancient achievements, and perhaps discovering even more civilizations that were once as advanced, if not more so, than our own. As we peel back the layers of time and explore the hidden corners of the world, the search for lost cities serves as a powerful reminder that history is not just something that happened long ago. It is still unfolding, and many of its greatest secrets remain just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Throughout history, humanity has created vast collections of written knowledge, some of which have survived the ravages of time, and others that have vanished into the mists of the past. Yet, for every ancient manuscript that we've discovered, there are still countless others that remain hidden, some lost, some deliberately concealed, and others perhaps even forbidden to be read. The tantalizing thought that some ancient texts may contain forgotten wisdom or hidden truths drives historians, archaeologists, and adventurers to scour the globe for hidden libraries, buried tombs, and sealed vaults. What could these texts reveal about the true history of our ancestors, and what ancient knowledge may have been kept from us? The concept of secret knowledge, hidden in ancient texts, has long captivated the human imagination. From the mysterious scrolls of the Dead Sea Scrolls to the enigmatic writings of the ancient Egyptians, many civilizations guarded their most sacred knowledge, be it spiritual, scientific, or mystical, against the unworthy, often shrouding it in secrecy. Some of these texts were never meant to be read by the masses, and others were hidden away for fear of persecution or destruction. But the question remains, what might these lost and forbidden texts contain? Could they hold the key to understanding the mysteries of ancient civilizations, or even reveal truths that would change the way we view our history? One of the most famous examples of such secret texts is the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in 1947 in caves near the Dead Sea. These ancient scrolls, dating back to between 150 BCE and 70 CE, contain copies of many books of the Hebrew Bible, along with other religious texts that were previously unknown to modern scholars. The Dead Sea Scrolls shed light on the beliefs and practices of a Jewish sect known as the Essenes, offering valuable insights into the world in which early Christianity was born. But among these texts, some scholars believe there may be hidden messages or knowledge that was deliberately excluded from the more familiar biblical canon. Were these scrolls part of a greater, esoteric body of knowledge, lost to time, or hidden from public view for a specific reason? In addition to religious texts, many ancient cultures produced writings that were far more scientific or mystical in nature. The Hermetic texts, for instance, are a collection of philosophical and religious writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a mythical figure said to have lived in ancient Egypt. These texts, which combine elements of Greek, Egyptian, and later Christian thought, explore the secrets of the universe, the nature of the soul, and the paths to divine enlightenment. The Hermetic writings were influential during the Renaissance, inspiring many of Europe's greatest thinkers and scientists. Yet, despite their importance, they were also shrouded in mystery. Could there be hidden knowledge in these texts about the nature of reality, the cosmos, or even human potential that we are only just beginning to understand? The ancient Egyptians were among the most enigmatic of cultures when it came to their written knowledge. They created vast libraries of papyrus scrolls, many of which have been lost to history, but some survived, providing glimpses into their religious, medical, and scientific practices. Among the most famous of these texts is the Egyptian Book of the Dead, a guide for the soul's journey through the afterlife. This text, however, is only a small part of the body of knowledge that the Egyptians were believed to have possessed. The Egyptians were master astronomers, mathematicians, and architects, and their ability to align monuments, such as the Great Pyramid with the stars, suggests a deep understanding of the cosmos. Yet much of their more advanced knowledge seems to have been kept secret, shared only with a select few who were initiated into the mysteries of the priesthood. What other writings might have been locked away, containing insights into alchemy, astronomy, or even the esoteric mysteries of the universe? The ancient Sumerians also left behind a wealth of texts, many of which are considered some of the earliest written records in human history. Among the most famous is the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known works of literature. But the Sumerians were not merely storytellers. They were also incredibly skilled in mathematics, engineering, and astronomy. They were the first to divide the circle into 360 degrees, to create a lunar calendar, and to map the stars. Some scholars believe that the Sumerians may have possessed a much deeper understanding of the cosmos and the forces that govern the universe, which was encoded in their sacred texts. These texts, however, have often been fragmented or deliberately hidden from history, and many of the ancient Sumerian writings remain undeciphered to this day. Could these lost texts contain ancient knowledge that would radically alter our understanding of civilization's origins? The idea that forbidden or secret knowledge could be found within ancient texts is not just the realm of ancient cultures. It also permeates more recent history. One of the most famous examples is the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, a medieval manuscript that contains the entire Latin Bible, along with other texts, including medical and historical writings. The Codex is famous not only for its enormous size, but also for a strange and disturbing image that appears in one of its pages, a full-page depiction of the devil. The origins of the Codex remain shrouded in mystery, and some believe it was created by a monk who made a pact with the devil to complete the work in a single night. The Codex's strange and macabre nature has fueled rumors that it contains hidden, occult knowledge, secrets that were never meant to be revealed to the world. In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church was known to suppress certain texts and ideas, particularly those that contradicted its teachings. Many manuscripts were destroyed or hidden to maintain control over religious and intellectual life in Europe. The Gnostic texts, for instance, were considered heretical and excluded from the Christian Bible. These texts, which contain a radically different understanding of God, creation, and the nature of human existence, have only recently resurfaced, shedding light on early Christian thought that was suppressed for centuries. Some of the most famous of these texts are the Nag Hammadi scriptures, discovered in Egypt in 1945. These writings suggest that early Christianity was far more diverse and complex than we were led to believe, and they raise the possibility that much of the hidden wisdom of the Gnostics could hold the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of spirituality and existence. The search for lost or forbidden knowledge has continued into the modern era. Scholars and seekers still search for hidden manuscripts that could provide missing pieces of the puzzle in our understanding of ancient civilizations, science, and even spirituality. In some cases, the pursuit of these texts leads to controversy, as governments and institutions try to control access to ancient documents that might challenge conventional wisdom or reveal uncomfortable truths. But what if there are still hidden manuscripts that could radically alter our understanding of the past? Perhaps in the forgotten corners of libraries, hidden vaults, or private collections, there are still ancient texts waiting to be discovered. Texts that could contain not only lost history, but also forbidden knowledge about the nature of reality, human consciousness, or even technologies that were far more advanced than we can imagine. Could these texts unlock the secrets of the ancients and shed light on mysteries that have perplexed us for centuries? The allure of ancient texts, whether they are sacred scriptures, scientific treatises, or philosophical musings, remains as strong as ever. These texts represent the accumulated knowledge of countless generations, and their secrets are still tantalizingly out of reach. The search for these hidden writings is not just a quest for lost knowledge. It is a journey into the very heart of human curiosity, a desire to understand our origins, our purpose, and the forces that shape our world. The discovery of ancient artifacts is a powerful tool in bridging the vast chasm between the distant past and our present understanding. These objects, whether mundane or extraordinary, have the potential to answer some of history's most intriguing questions or to raise new ones that further ignite our curiosity. Each artifact is like a fragment of a lost puzzle, offering a small but essential piece of the intricate and often fragmented picture of ancient civilizations. Many of the most enigmatic artifacts are those that defy simple explanation, offering us glimpses into the customs, rituals, and technologies of societies that no longer exist. Take, for example, the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device discovered off the coast of the island of Antikythera. This mechanical device, often described as the world's first computer, was used to calculate astronomical positions and eclipses. Its complexity was unmatched for thousands of years, challenging our assumptions about the technological capabilities of the ancient world. The mechanism suggests a level of sophistication that was previously thought to be beyond the ancient Greeks, and its discovery raises questions about what other forgotten technologies could still lie hidden beneath the Earth's surface, waiting to be unearthed. Similarly, the Nazca lines in Peru, mysterious geoglyphs etched into the Earth, have been a subject of debate for decades. These massive designs, which can only be fully appreciated from the sky, suggest an advanced understanding of geometry and possibly astronomy. The question remains, why did the Nazca people create these giant, intricate patterns? Were they religious symbols, or did they serve a more practical purpose, perhaps in tracking celestial events? Each new artifact discovered near the Nazca lines adds another layer to our understanding of their creators. But the full purpose of these enigmatic works of art continues to elude us. Artifacts like these remind us that ancient civilizations were far more complex than we often give them credit for. The materials, craftsmanship, and ingenuity displayed in such objects suggest that ancient peoples were not simply survivors of their time, but creators, innovators, and thinkers. By studying these relics, we not only learn about the societies that made them, but also about our own potential to shape the future. As we continue to search for and uncover new artifacts, we can only wonder what other mysteries lie buried, waiting for their moment in the light. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of this search is the realization that we are not simply uncovering artifacts from a bygone era. We are uncovering the minds of the people who created them, connecting us across millennia. As we explore the lost civilizations that once thrived on this earth, it becomes clear that these ancient worlds have more to teach us than simply the facts of their rise and fall. The echoes of history, carried through time in the form of ruins, monuments, and stories, offer profound lessons about the human condition. These lessons are as relevant today as they were millennia ago, and they provide us with both a mirror and a warning for our own civilization's future. The rise and fall of ancient societies like the Romans, the Maya, and the Indus Valley serve as powerful reminders of the impermanence of human achievement. The Roman Empire, in particular, offers a poignant example of how power, wealth, and technological advancements are no guarantee of lasting success. Internal decay, external pressures, and a failure to adapt to changing circumstances led to its eventual collapse. Similarly, the Maya civilization, once known for its brilliant achievements in architecture, mathematics, and astronomy, disappeared mysteriously, possibly due to environmental stresses and resource depletion. The lessons here are clear. Societies must remain vigilant, adaptable, and mindful of the limits of their environment. But lost civilizations also teach us about the power of knowledge and culture. The Egyptians, with their awe-inspiring monuments, left behind not just physical structures, but a rich legacy of philosophy, astronomy, and religion. Their understanding of the cosmos and their intricate belief systems have continued to inspire generations. Similarly, the Greeks contributed foundational ideas about democracy, ethics, and reason, many of which still shape our modern world. The most valuable lesson these lost worlds impart is that our own civilization is not invincible. History teaches us that even the most powerful empires, the most sophisticated cultures, and the most advanced technologies can crumble, but also shows that knowledge, art, and ideas have the ability to transcend time. The legacy of the past is not just about what we build with our hands, but also what we create with our minds. The stories of these lost worlds encourage us to think about how we will be remembered, not just for our technological achievements, but for the ideas and values we leave behind. While the ancient world has offered us incredible insights, there remains so much to be discovered. Many lost cities, sunken civilizations, and hidden realms await us beneath the earth, beneath the oceans, and even within the forgotten corners of the world. Our thirst for knowledge about these lost worlds continues to drive archaeological, scientific, and technological exploration. As we look ahead, the possibilities for uncovering these mysteries are endless, and with each new discovery, we add a new layer to our understanding of human history. One of the most exciting frontiers in this pursuit is the search for lost cities. From the vast Amazon rainforest to the deserts of Egypt, hidden civilizations are waiting to be rediscovered. Recent advances in LiDAR technology have already led to the discovery of ancient cities beneath thick vegetation, revealing the once mighty empires that thrived in places like Cambodia and Mexico. The possibility that vast, unknown cities still lie buried under centuries of natural growth is both thrilling and humbling. Could there be more hidden urban landscapes, perhaps even entire civilizations, waiting to be unearthed? The mysteries beneath the oceans also offer exciting possibilities for future exploration. The discovery of sunken cities and structures off the coast of India, Japan, and the Caribbean offers tantalizing glimpses into what may have been lost to the waves. Could Atlantis, long thought to be a myth, be based on the remains of a real civilization, now submerged? The advancements in underwater archaeology and remote exploration technologies will likely bring more of these submerged worlds to light in the years to come. The search for lost knowledge and technologies is equally compelling. What if there are ancient texts, libraries, and manuscripts still buried in forgotten corners of the world, waiting to reveal secrets lost to time? The Library of Alexandria, once the center of all learning, was tragically destroyed, but the possibility remains that other repositories of ancient wisdom could still exist, waiting to be uncovered. Technologies that once seemed impossible, like those behind the Antikythera mechanism or the Nazca lines, may have been lost in time, but could there be more, waiting to be rediscovered? As technology continues to evolve, so too does our ability to explore the mysteries of the past. With tools like LiDAR, DNA analysis, and advanced satellite imaging, the barriers to uncovering lost worlds are being broken down. We are entering an exciting era in which the past is becoming increasingly visible, revealing secrets that may have been hidden for thousands of years. The search for lost worlds is not just about discovering the past. It's about understanding ourselves. The stories of these forgotten civilizations offer insights not only into their successes and failures, but into the very nature of human society. As we uncover the mysteries of the past, we are not just learning about ancient people. We are learning about the forces that shape us all. The greatest mystery is not simply what has been lost, but what awaits us still hidden in the deep folds of time.